Hello all, welcome back to another video and welcome to Sammy G's World of Cinema. Today on the channel, guys, is going to be a bit of a long overdue video. Now, I was meant to do this maybe shortly after Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes came out, which was nearly 2 years ago now. So again, guys, massive apologies for the hefty delay, but better late than never, as the saying goes. Just to kind of spice up with a variety of content, I thought I would finally make this video at long last. And I just want to say, guys, just for a bit of housekeeping, this is only my personal ranking video of the Planet of the Apes film series. This is all going to be subjective, and that's what I love about movies and love about people's rankings and different lists and stuff like that, because it just shows we all like different things, but we've all got kind of our favourites and our least favourites in a film series as well. So that is the beauty of it all, guys. This is only my personal ranking of the Planet of the Apes film series, but I gotta say, guys, there's only one film in this film series that I dislike. Number 9 and up to number 1 spot, I really like all of those movies, and I would even go as far to say some of which I love. And yeah, this is one of my favourite film series, and I just want to kind of do a dedicated video and a long overdue video to kind of look back and just rank all the Planet of the Apes movies, from kind of my least favourite to my absolute favourite. So grab yourself a cuppa, let's get on with the show, let's roll the credits, and let's get into this long overdue ranking video of the Planet of the Apes film series here today on the channel. Come on, bring on the show, let's go. So coming in at number 10, and yeah, to no surprise, this is my least favourite of the Planet of the Apes film series. Also, guys, I just before I get onto this, I do want to say as well, I have reviewed all of the Planet of the Apes movies individually on the channel, so I'll put a link to the playlist down below if you want to hear me go into a lot more in-depth about each film. But yeah, I'm not going to go into mega in-depth for each film, otherwise it will just be a sprawling length video, and I've already got a habit of doing that as it is. So yeah, I will put a link to my Planet of the Apes review series if you want to hear me go into a lot more in-depth for each film. But yeah, coming in at number 10, and I've gone for, with no surprise, the Tim Burton 2001 remake. Yeah, I don't really like this movie, guys, and this is the only Planet of the Apes movie I don't like. I know it's got its fans, which is great. I'm glad this remake has got a bit of a following, but I just feel like it's just a very watered down, very cookie-cuttered, sort of very uneventful, very dull as Dullsville gets, sort of dishwatery sort of remake that's got this really kind of grainy effect to it. And I love Tim Burton, guys, as a director, but I think as remakes go, I just don't think he's got the right tools in the shed to pull off a remake, in my opinion. And yeah, this is kind of no exception for this, as much as I do love Tim Burton, but I feel this is where his career was going, and on a little bit of a decline there, in my opinion. And yeah, I love Mark Wahlberg, but Mark Wahlberg as the main leading character doesn't hold a candle to Taylor in the original, and yeah, I just think the way the film starts on that space station, and then again, I just feel again, there's just a lot of dark scenes in there. I'm not a fan of Tim Roth as the general. I just think he's a bit silly, too comedic there, and that ending was a bit shite, to be honest. And that ending again is, you know, kind of, when you compare that ending to the ending of the original, I'm like, oh, that just pales massively in comparison to how effective that original conclusion is, as we'll get onto later in the video. But yeah, the 2001 remake, I've seen it. I'm not against giving it another viewing at some point, guys, but yeah, it's just whatever, really. Then at number 9, now, this again is not one of my favourites in the film series, but I do get much more enjoyment out of this one compared to the 2001 remake, and that is Battle for the Planet of the Apes, or Battle of the Planet of the Apes. Apologies, guys, if I'm getting it slightly wrong there. It's got its fun moments, this one has, but I think it's just some of the editing side of this film is a bit of a letdown for me. It's very choppy. There is just some oddball decisions there when they bring Milo in there. Is it the kids in there, Milo? I think again it's just a bit goofy. It kind of makes this film a little bit on the too comedic side of it. And yeah, the way the main villain is defeated was kind of laughable, to be honest. And it was like, kind of, when they get to the actual battle scenes, it was very misleading, because the battle scenes was kind of over and done with in about 10 minutes or something. It felt very quick and let's get this done out of the way sort of thing. I will say I did like the main side character in there that was helping along Caesar and a couple of the other apes get to, I think it's this military base, I think it is. But yeah, Battle, not a great movie there in my opinion. Then at number 8, I'm a lot more fond of this film series now as we go on with this, and yeah, this is now where I will say I do quite like this film as a whole, and that is Escape of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I know this film has got its detractors. I totally get why. It is a massive departure from the previous 2 films, and obviously you've got Zero and Cornelius as the main 2 leading characters, and you know, like, opposed to having a human character as the main character in there. But I think, to be honest, I just admired that this film series went into a bit of a different avenue there and took it into a bit of a new light and a new direction, and bringing the 2 main leads, which is like obviously you know, like Roddy McDowell and who plays Zero again. I do apologise, guys. Her name's gone out of my head, guys. I do apologise. But yeah, anyway, Zero and Cornelius as the 2 main leading characters. And I think that's what works, considering, you know, they are 2 beloved characters in the previous 2 films. And to see them kind of like taking on the leading roles I think was a really cool choice for this 3rd installment. And yeah, I do love the music from Jerry Goldsmith. It's got a very kind of spy-esque feel and bulk about it, which it's got a little bit of a thriller-esque, because that score, very different, cool, also to be set on planet Earth as well. And I just think it's not too bad. There are some quite, you know, slow-paced moments here and there, and there'll be like times where I'll be like, oh, when are we going to get onto this now? Where are we going with this? And I'm like, oh, what's going on here. There's moments like that do drag a little bit and teeter on here and there, but there's enough there to carry its way, and it's got a real bleak, subtle ending. Not going to go into that here in case, because obviously I did talk more about the film in my review, but yeah, very solid entry there with Escape for the Planet of the Apes, and yeah, decent entry, that one, and an interesting departure from the previous two films. At number 7, coming in at number 7, I have gone for the follow-up to the 68 original, and interesting director this. I think it's, is it, I'm trying to think, guys, the director again, I think he might have directed one of the Dirty Harry movies. Again, apologies, guys. The name has escaped me. I'm pretty sure he's worked with a couple of the films. I think he's directed a couple of films of the Dirty Harry film series, but again, the name has escaped from my mind at this moment. But anyways, at number 7, I've gone for Beneath the Planet of the Apes. This one, I would say now, is quite good. So we are getting a little bit up and stepping up the ladder in quality now. This is where now from quite good, and we're going to see that progress with this ranking video. But yeah, Beneath the Planet of the Apes is the sequel, the follow-up to the 1968 original. And whilst it is not a patch on the 68 original, in my opinion, I still think as sequels go and a direct follow-up, I think this is a pretty solid entry. Excuse me, sorry about that. I think, I must admit, when I first watched this, I thought the guy in it, I think he's called, is it Ted, I think? Played by, I think it's James Franciscus. I think the character's name is Ted, who I've got to say, he looks a spitting image of Taylor. I actually thought it was actually Taylor Charlton Heston when I originally watched this film, but it is a different actor. Actually, guys, I think it's not Ted. I think it might be Brett. I think it is. Again, guys, apologies if I am getting any character names wrong there, but yeah. So Taylor passes the bat over to Brett in this sequel, and I must admit, as a main protagonist, I thought he did a decent job. Great to see Linda Harrison back in there as Nova as well, who's again a great supporting character to this, and also, yeah, I just think, again, the first half an hour is a good setup. It's very much taken recognition of the original. But when you get to the whole caves and when you get to kind of like that, the cults and that tribe, it just has such a different 180 in comparison to the original. But I just love all the character work with this, with like Dr. Zayas, and again, that main gorilla in there, and they've got these future plans of what to do with the Forbidden Zone. The music from Leonard Rosenman is just cinematic glory there, and that ending is pretty riveting to the core without spoiling it. But yeah, man, when they go there big time in that final minutes of the film. But a really interesting and kind of fantastic follow-up there. Then at number 6, we're gonna fast forward now. What would it be? Let's see, I think it'll be 54 years after Beneath the Planet of the Apes. We have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes coming in at number 6. And the most recent entry in this film series. And yeah, guys, I've got to say, this is another really good, very solid entry in the film series. I know Kingdom did somewhat divide opinion in that respect, but I personally really had a great time with this one. I just think because I I first watched the Planet of the Apes film series about a year or so before this came out. Like I say, the film series for the first time. Sorry, no. The most of the films I was watching for the first time, but up until then, the Caesar trilogy, like with Rise, Dawn, and War, which that trilogy of films we will get onto shortly. Those were the only Planet of the Apes films I have seen up until 2-3 years ago when I was watching the other films, checking out the other films for the first time, and with Kingdom only being a year or so away for like it to be released. I just think again I was just feeling the buzz and feeling kind of just excited about a new Planet of the Apes films off the back of checking out the original 5-film run for the first time, but then revisiting the Caesar and the Andy Serkis trilogy. And yeah, off the back of that, I was really optimistic going into this new film, and it just did not disappoint. A great breath of fresh air, resurgence to this film series. I think Noah is a good leading character to take on the mantle here. Like, obviously doesn't hold a candle to Andy Serkis as Caesar, but I think he did a good enough job in this, and it is a good kind of setup for this kind of new world building. I thought the main villain, Proximus, it was a good sort of villain in there, and quite imitating, very kind of bolshy in that. And I really liked the voice work with his character as well. And I thought there was a good couple of good callbacks to the original, sort of like with the Forbidden Zone. There's like the caves as well, and again the cornfields. So yeah, it's a good film in my opinion, and it's kind of a good sort of like shifting tone, a new addition to this story where one character, very shy, not really communicating at first, but then does build a bit of an unlikely friendship there along the way with Noah and the main orangutan in there, which I thought was a brilliant character in there, guys. Again, I've only seen Kingdom the once, but he was probably my favourite character in this. So yeah, that's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and really looking forward to the sequel. And I thought Wes Ball did a good job with this. Coming into the top 5 now, and this, like Kingdom, this is where I'm now going to say I love all of these movies for the remainder of this video. And at number 5, I've gone for a pretty underrated entry into the film series with Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. God, I love this movie, guys. I think it is absolutely awesome. And it's not really a spoiler to say now that this is now my second favourite of the original sequels after the original, which we will talk about later in the video. But this is definitely hands down my favourite of the original sequels. I think this is kind of the director for Rise of the Planet of the Apes has got this film in a way to thank for that film, because this almost feels like an original version of this film. It's just great to see, again, sort of like we see Caesar in this film, as I say, he's kind of sort of like, he's kind of looking at the world and this environment in a new light through his very eyes. And then he learns about his parents. Ricardo Montalban, who played Khan in Star Trek, is a great supporting character to this. And you learn about this environment in this laboratory, but then Caesar is kind of wanting to, build his own community to get back at these, these humans that are keeping them like sort of hostage and under experiment. And yeah, there's just a great setup there, a really good kind of revenge plan in the works. And my goodness, guys, I think one of my absolute favourite moments in a film could be in this film where Caesar gives off and delivers that epic monologue towards the end, and my goodness, I've got to give hats off to Rod D. McDowell for he just steals the show in every scene he's in. But this scene, he goes above and beyond he's got a script in front of him and he absolutely elevates that. But my goodness, that epic speech towards the end is just cinematic glory there, and that ending quite bleak and subtle, a bit of a dark avenue with its conclusion. But again, I have to give this film props for going there when it did with that ending, and it is just a great kind of sort of, again, a bit of a mega departure compared to Escape, which is a more grounded and sort of like entry into that film series, if you like. And whilst this does still feel very grounded, it's kind of a bit of a breath of fresh air with Caesar as the main leading character. So yeah, that is a Conquest there, which is just a fantastic entry into the film series. And again, Jerry Goldsmith absolutely nails it, like with the score as ever there. And now we're going to get into Champions League territory, and coming in at number 4, and this is where we're going to get into the Andy Serkis Caesar trilogy here with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And yeah, this is a fantastic movie, isn't it, guys? Again, like Rise, you see kind of Caesar just evolve as a character, and again, you know, and like Caesar in Conquest, you see him evolve and adapt as a character. He's wanting to kind of spice things up in the kitchen, a very kind of different setting. It's very kind of got a different environment compared to Rise, and again, Gary Oldman is just a fantastic addition to this. But you've got a great group of human characters where you actually do quite like in this film, and when you meet them, you see they don't want things to go in harm's way there. And yeah, Caesar, and then again where you see sort of like a shifting tone there with Coda. I think is it Coda? It would go into a bit of a different direction there. Yeah, I just think, again, some of the character work in this film is fantastic. But yeah, again, that whole world building and that, you know, that sort of kingdom, the land, the use of rain to really, that is very effective with its storytelling. Yeah, fantastic film. Absolutely love this. Then coming in at number 3, I've gone for War of the Planet of the Apes. So this was the last one of the modern day Caesar trilogy there, and a fantastic send-off to this beloved trilogy of films. Absolutely great. Again, really good sort of like villain there with Woody Harrelson as this colonel and part of this military that are kind of and does all he can to kind of be the ultimate threat in the best way possible there, and he actually goes there and yeah, you see Caesar kind of, he has a family, he's still, you know, like friends, he's still got his close ones, his friends nearby him, by his side. And yeah, I just again love the world building side of this film. But then again, this film, you meet kind of the young girl there, and obviously as well, this film's got a real kind of journey to it as well, where it will kind of segue itself into kind of like a different kind of location, and that would be foretold for a great journey led by Caesar. Then you've got this other ape in there you've got a real kind of lovable ape to the story that's kind of on the bit of the comedic side, and I love that. But yeah, an absolutely fantastic sort of final showdown there, a beautiful ending, and Yeah, a great rivalry between Caesar and Woody Harrelson there as the main colonel. As runner-up there at second place, had to go with the first Planet of the Apes film I actually sat down and watched. When I had originally zero interest in this, I thought, new Planet of the Apes film, so what? Why do I want to go and see that for? But then me and my brother Mike went to go to Cineworld Bradford to see this like one day when not much else was showing, and wow guys, I went into this film with zero interest to like coming out of that very screening with a big smile on my face, thinking, wow, this was one of the biggest surprises at the cinema. And I think every man and his dog that went to go and see this film was so surprised of how this film turned out to be there. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This was my introduction to the film series, and I absolutely fell in love with this film series because of this film. I think this is just a fantastic sort of resurgence for this film series, a great reset button. I think it is a beautiful movie as well, a beautiful story, and James Franco, someone who is kind of wanting to look after his father there, played brilliantly by John Lithgow. And yeah, I just think this is a great kind of like father and son relationship in this film. But yeah, just a great kind of sort of like to see again, a great kind of sort to see, you know, the main character with Caesar just evolve from a baby chimp to you know, like kind of an adult chimp in there. And again, I just think the writing side of it is fantastic. But then when you see Caesar becomes more distant from his loved ones in this film, it makes for it kind of this film allows itself to kind of like sort of make him realize that he's kind of wanting to be with his own kind, but also he wants to allow for the other apes to get their own way and kind of like run wild and free beyond their imagination. And I just think there's a really good message behind that, and there's just a bit of a real imitating sort of like couple of imitating characters in this film that kind of just very arrogant and sort of like big-headed and just do not give a shiny shit about these apes and how they're treated. But then you do see this film go through a bit of a turning point when Caesar develops and evolves as a character, and when a couple of the main human characters in this film at least expect it, a storm coming their way when they least expect it. And yeah, just a fantastic film, guys. Brilliantly, just a brilliant casting. Again, I just think it's a great film of two halves there, and obviously would hint for what's to come in Dawn. But yeah, great film, that one. Rise of the Planet Apes. And there could only be one winner here, and in my opinion, there's absolutely no surprise what was going to take the cake for my number one favourite of the film series. And yep, it just is as I thought, and I think this Forever and a Day will always be hard to beat. Had to be at number one, the 1968 original Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston. And yeah, this is just an absolute joy, this film is, guys. This is one of the greatest films I have ever seen, and will always forever now remain one of my favourite films of all time. Not many films, I don't think there'll be another film out there, in my opinion, that could sort of reach this level of quality. Whilst we'll get really good films to come out here and there, this is just at another level of glory there, in my opinion, and I just think this is just absolutely wonderful. The set of characters at the start, the mission that is foretold here, you know, like kind of the score from Jerry Goldsmith, Ape City, which makes for a great location choice, and the set designs. Taylor, one of the greatest leading heroes put to screen, played wonderfully by Charlton Heston here. And yeah, Roddy McDowell as Cornelius, and like Zara, I have forgot the actress's name, guys. Is it Kim Hunter? It might be Kim Hunter. Apologies, I've forgotten her name there. But also Dr. Zayas, played by Maurice Evans, and my goodness, his voice is really, really fantastic. I could listen to an audio book with this guy's voice. It's just superb, and it's got one of the most iconic endings, one of the most chilling endings put to screen, where you kind of left with sort of like, you're kind of left with stunned silence as soon as the end credits roll in, because that ultimate twist is a classic twist for a reason. And yeah, just, I could go on and talk about highly of this film till the cows come home. But yeah, just one of the greatest films ever made. Fantastically directed by Franklin J. Schaffner there, and the set designs, the cinematography, the visual effects, and the score, all those ingredients, and this put to screen from a French novel, and it absolutely delivered here. And yeah, this film is only about 2 years away from its 60th anniversary, so hopefully they're gonna do something like sort of special for this film's 60th birthday, because it absolutely deserves it in every single way. Absolutely wonderful film. The Forbidden Zone, that is it has a very mystery feel about it. The sort of the council meetings in this film, Taylor, there's a wake-up call for him, and he kind of wants to save his two like sort of co-associates, like sort of like when he's kind of realizing that he's in a new sort of environment when he least expects it. Just a wonderful, wonderful film, and a 5-star film for me on Letterboxd, and a film where I just pick up on something new for each viewing. So the original Planet of the Apes from 1968 had to be at #1 spot there. Bloody ace indeed. So yeah, guys, I hope everybody enjoyed my ranking video in regards to the Planet of the Apes film series, and do let me know, guys, any of your favorites of this film series. What's your thoughts on this ranking here? And we can continue the discussion there in the comments down below. And yeah, it's been great doing this video at long last, and I would love to do more videos like this in due course there. So thanks for watching, cheers for stopping by, and until next time, I'll see you for the next video. Bye bye, take care, guys. Thank you so much.